Bruh, did you see Andrew Tate? I saw what happened, but I didn't watch it. You guys have asked me over the last, we'll say, couple years. And look, I know it's a different generation. Don't get offended what I'm about to say. I've never watched one video of Andrew Tate. I know who he is. I don't like him. I don't dislike him. But at this stage of the game as a man, I don't watch motivational videos. I don't need another dude to tell me. Like I know I'm a man. I'm a leader. I'm a coach. I'm an author. You know what I'm saying? I'm a teacher. I don't look up to dudes. No offense. So, but over the last few years, people in my that are in my network that have my personal phone number, like my boys, have messaged me randomly. They have young sons. They're like, "Do you know who this dude is? He a real fighter?" And I go, "No, he's not a real fighter. This dude was an IKSA kickboxer, which is like, um, you know, when I say real fighter, I mean a legit boxer, somebody who's fought at a high level. Because I guess he was claiming he was a high level striker or something. I watched one fight and he was doing like point. He's a point. He came up doing point fighting, which is like stop, restart, stop, reset. Kind of like not. I grew up in boxing gyms, so when I see that sort of shit, I'm like, this dude not a real fighter. So, but anyway, I know that he fought another dude like a football player and I didn't watch it. I saw highlights. It looked exactly what I thought it would look like. Why wouldn't he just do his point fighting system? Why do these guys want to box? You know what I mean? Like Andrew Tate, you're a point fighter, like a karate sort of fighter. Fight that dude in that sport. Why is it? You know what's happening, and this is the good side. People, because people talk about the downside of the Jake Paul circus, the Andrew Tate circus, but the upside for us, from guys who train, guys who box still, who have boxed before. We have professional boxers in here. We have professional coaches in here. Coach Bermudez is one of them. It makes us look even better because it shows the casuals how hard it is and how skilled of a sport boxing is. You can't just come off the streets and not really put your whole life into it, or at least your blood, sweat, and tears for even a period of time, and expect to look good. The highlights I saw of that Chase kid versus Tate, they made you know Anderson Silva versus Tyron Woodley look like Terrence Crawford versus Canelo. You know what I mean? And then you had and then you had Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua. Look, I'm not I don't give any credit to Jake Paul. I'm sorry. I'm not one of these guys that are going to say, "Well, at least he got in there." No, what you got to see that was on full display was a true blue textbook narcissist. You got to see a true blue textbook sociopath. This guy doesn't he literally thought he was going to be able to do what he wanted to do against Anthony Joshua. And what I'm upset at is for Jake Paul's mother. I feel bad for his father. And you guys could talk about the 90 million. I don't give a shit about money. Though I've said this before on my live streams. We're all gonna die. And if money, if the rich, wealthy ones, if when I was coming up, if the rich boys or if the millionaires or the billionaires, if they got to live forever, or if there was some sort of hierarchy of life expectancy or a different level of opportunity to live, like because money got you there, then that would bother me. But we're all here for a short period of time. So morality matters, ethics matter, how you go about your business matters. Why I feel bad for Jake Paul's mother, father, the people who love him, and even Jake, is because that one shot, that shot that AJ landed will change the trajectory of his life. I don't give a shit what you say. I don't care about the $90 million. I have friends who have brain damage from boxing. I know a guy who passed away from boxing. I've met two dudes, who were like high level fighters who died in the boxing ring. I know, and you guys know, stories of famous fighters who've never been the same, who were paralyzed, and you know how one punch could change everything. The idea that you would mock our sport for years and showboat and then sell this idea to a whole new category of fans that you guys call casuals into thinking that, well, at least he got paid or at least he brought eyes to the sport. I don't give a shit about that. None of that matters to me. What I care about is the sport itself. the ethics of the sweet science, a sport that, was introduced to me right when I was, first learning to speak and crawl and walk. From a young age, you don't take shots like that. Yeah, he could do videos and his jaw had to get wired shut, and he'll never be the same. I don't care what $90 million does. We'll talk to Jake in 20 years. His brain will never be the same. He should not be taking that shot. The weight class is something, dude. Anthony Joshua, a 6'6" savage, still in his prime physically as a man. Maybe not in his prime as a world level heavyweight fighter, but he's definitely in the prime as a man. And the fact that you would put our sport on show like that and prostitute our sport, put it on Netflix for the sake of $90 million, and you get your jaw broken, enjoy the straw. That's what I said. I was like, have fun drinking out the straw, because that was it was coming. That's a consequence of our sport. You don't play boxing. The snappage of the jaw in a couple of different places, and I thought Anthony took it easy on him. And then the ring, 22 and a half, it was a shit show. And people, think about all the fighters that you guys have never heard of, who fought their whole life, trained their whole life, put everything into it, who never got an opportunity because they didn't know people, they were poor, they didn't have social media, and they were good enough to get a chance, but they never got a chance, and that's fine. But yeah, I don't say at least he did it. He was courageous. I call him an idiot. Enjoy the straw that you're drinking out of, and hopefully we could put an end to legit ass fighters losing spots or losing sort of slots on prime time, or streaming networks, when it could have been a real fighter that could have been set up, rather than this kid who just doesn't take our sport serious. I don't respect that at all. But end rant. We got some